Let's talk tech. Exploring tech together.
You know, we do it all the time, probably without even thinking about it. We click pay. But what's really going on behind that simple tap? Well, there's this hidden world of artificial intelligence making a massive decision about you, and it's all happening in less than a second. So let's break down exactly how it works.
Right. So picture this. You find something you love online, you pop in your cart, you hit pay, and boom, a moment later you get that confirmation screen. Looks simple, right? But what is actually happening in that tiny slice of time between your tap and the thank you message?
Yeah, it's way more than just sending some data back and forth. In literally less time than it takes you to blink, an entire artificial intelligence system just wakes up and runs this incredibly complex security check. And its whole job is to make one single, crucial decision. Is this really you? So how on earth does an AI make such a high-stakes call so quickly? Well, it all starts with the system acting like a detective, instantly scooping up digital clues from the scene of the crime, so to speak, the transaction itself.
Think of it exactly like a detective showing up at a scene. The first thing they do is start looking for clues, right? In the tech world, they call these signals. And the system isn't just looking at one thing, it's piecing together a whole picture from 4 different kinds of information.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Let's look at those clues. First up, identity. Have we seen you before? How old is your account? Any red flags in your past? Then there's your device. Is your phone software up to date? Has it been jailbroken or tampered with? The AI also checks your behavior. Are you suddenly buying a TV at 3 a.m. from a country you've never been to? That's kind of weird. And finally, it looks at the transaction itself. Are we talking about a $5 coffee or a $5,000 laptop? See, on their own, none of these clues might mean much. But when you put them all together, they create this unique digital fingerprint for this one specific moment.
Okay, so once all those clues are collected and bundled up, that little payment request is sent on a journey. And it's not an easy one. It has to pass through this high-tech, 4-layer security system. Think of it like a digital gauntlet to prove it's the real deal. As you can see here, this journey has 4 very distinct stages. The data travels from your app. It has to get past a secure gateway, and then it goes to the brain of the whole operation, the risk engine, before a final decision is spit out. Each layer here has a super specific job. So, the whole thing kicks off right there, on your phone. The app you're using, its number one job is to be a secure collector. It gathers up all those digital clues we talked about and wraps them into one neat little package ready for inspection. Next, that data package hits the gateway. Now, you can think of this as the main security gate, or maybe like the bouncer at a club. Its job is to check the ID. It makes sure the request is coming from a legit app, it cleans up the data so it's all in the same format, and it acts as the single controllable choke point for every payment coming in. Okay, once you're past the bouncer, the package arrives at the risk engine. This, my friends, is the heart of the entire system. It's the central command room where all the data gets analyzed and the real thinking happens. This is where the AI actually lives. And this slide just illustrates brilliantly how the risk engine thinks. It's really got 2 brains. On one side, you have the rules engine. This is like a speed limit. It's got hard, fast rules. Block this specific card number. If the purchase is over $1,000, require an extra check. Simple. But on the other side, you've got the machine learning models. This is way more like a seasoned detective's gut feeling. It sifts through that entire digital fingerprint, looking for these subtle, complex patterns across millions of past transactions to get a feel for whether this purchase just seems off. So, the clues have been gathered, the risk engine has done its analysis using both hard rules and that clever intuition. Now, in these final milliseconds, it is time to make a call. It's time to render a verdict. The system really only has 3 possible verdicts. And the whole goal here is to be almost invisible, which is why, as you can see, the vast majority of the time the decision is approved. This keeps everything running smoothly for all of us honest customers, with only a tiny fraction of payments ever needing a second look or getting stopped completely. First up is approved. This is the best case scenario. The AI is super confident that everything's legit, so your payment just zips right through. That's that seamless, instant experience we all expect, right? But what if the system's just a little bit unsure? You know, maybe you're using a new phone or buying something really unusual for you. That's when it triggers a challenge. The system just says, hey, can I get a little more proof just to be safe? And that's when you see that familiar one-time code pop up on your phone, or it asks for a quick fingerprint scan. They also call this a step-up authentication.
And finally, we have the decline. This is the big red stop sign. This only happens when the system sees multiple, crystal-clear red flags. The combination of signals is just screaming fraud. So to protect you and the merchant, the payment is stopped cold in its tracks.
But the story doesn't actually end with the decision. In fact, you could argue the most powerful part of this whole setup is what happens next. The system has to learn from every single experience.
This right here is how the system gets so intelligent. It's called a feedback loop. Every single decision, approve, challenge, decline, gets logged. But the real magic is when the real-world outcomes get fed back in. For instance, if a transaction got approved, but then later on it's reported as fraud, a chargeback, the AI learns from that mistake. This constant stream of data, both successes and failures, is what trains the models to get smarter and more accurate over time. It's not static, it's always evolving.
Okay, I know that was a lot of technical detail. We had a 4-layer architecture, all these signals, machine learning models, but why does any of this complexity actually matter? What's the bottom line here? What's the big payoff?
Well, it all boils down to 3 major wins. This entire end-to-end system delivers 3 absolutely key benefits for everyone involved.
So the first win is the obvious one, less fraud. The AI is great at stopping the bad guys before they can cause any damage. But the second one is just as important, especially for us, less hassle for you. Because the system is so good at spotting fraud, it can be really confident about approving legitimate purchases, giving you that smooth, fast checkout we all want. And finally, it creates better proof. Every single decision is logged and traceable, which provides this clear, explainable audit trail for regulators. It's this beautiful balance between ironclad security and a fantastic user experience. This whole system just goes to show how powerful and incredibly fast these AI-driven decisions have become, all happening completely invisibly in the background of our lives. It really makes you wonder, if AI can secure billions of payments in the blink of an eye, what's the next everyday thing that it's going to silently and completely reinvent? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning into this explainer.